I think we've got a good group of folks on, so thanks so much for joining us. We're going to go ahead and get started. So if you haven't filled out the poll that's on your screen yet, go ahead and do that now. We're going to close that momentarily here. But I want to welcome everyone to our second EngagedMD and PatientFi watch party. We're really excited that you're here. We've got a fantastic brand new program that's only been live since October of this past year. So we want to walk you through what PatientFi and EngagedMD are doing together, this free offering to provide easier financing education to your patients, and share some early results for the clinics that have been using this offering over the past couple months. We'll give you some insight into what we've seen there from their patients as well. So here's where we're headed today. And first things first, you're probably wondering who these people are who are talking to you on your screen. I'm Stephanie DiGianni. I lead the fertility business at EngagedMD. I've been in the fertility space for my entire career. I started out in carrier screening and in PGT. I love the world of genetics, so I'm a little bit of a nerd in that sense. And for the last 5 years, I've been at EngagedMD helping clinics take advantage of digital technologies in order to really make life easier and take some of that administrative burden off of them so that they can do what's they care most about, which is take great care of their patients. So that's a little bit about me. Vanessa, over to you.
Thank you. I'm Vanessa Suker. I'm the Channel Director for Fertility at PatientFi. I have been in the lending world longer than I'm going to tell, but it's been a while. In the fertility space, on and off throughout my career, but back in it now at PatientFi. I have very personal attachment to the fertility world. My son was born from IVF. 4 tries, uphill battle, wasn't the youngest when I started, but I'm so grateful and thankful for the fertility world to help people start on the journey to building a family. And, nothing like this was around when I was, my son's 10. So think about how long ago that was. So I'm really every day, I'm just so glad I get to help people continue on the journey to start a family, and working with Engaged MD to help too. It's just been phenomenal. So it's my intro.
I love it. And I've gotten to spend time with Vanessa's son, who's now 10, and he's hilarious and awesome.
It's a good kid.
Yeah, he's a good kid. A couple rules of engagement. We're super happy you're all here, and we've got a chat option on Zoom webinars here. So if you have any questions throughout the course of our presentation today, please feel free to throw them in the chat, and we'll do our best either to answer as we go, and we'll definitely save a few minutes at the end for dedicated Q&A. As I move on to sharing about EngagedMD, Brittany, if you're able to share out the results of the last poll, that would be super interesting to see. So this is great. So lots of different ways that you all are presenting financing options to patients. A lot of people talking to patients, 83% of respondents giving handouts, sending patients to financing company websites. So it seems like there's a lot of effort and energy going into this, trying to get this information across to patients. Thanks, Brittany, for sharing that. And what we're trying to do together is provide you another way to offer financing education that takes some of that burden and lift off of your team. So a few months ago, EngagedMD and PatientFi partnered together to build out this new solution. And before we share all the details of that, we wanted to take a step back because we realized that many of you on this call today may already work with EngagedMD or PatientFi, but many of you may not as well. So starting at a high level of who is EngagedMD, we're a software company and we've been around for over a decade now. And our goal is to take that headache-inducing, burdensome, annoying admin parts of your day and use technology to just take that off of your plate. We want to deliver great patient and staff experiences, reduce risk, and really make things easier for everyone involved. EngagedMD has really become the gold standard in patient education and informed consent in the fertility space. 2 in every 3 fertility patients in the US use EngagedMD throughout their fertility journey today. So definitely standard of care. How do we do all these wonderful things that I've just talked about? Here's how the magic happens and how it all comes together. So we have a software platform that clinics can use standalone or can be integrated into your EMR. And then layered on that software platform are two service lines, eLearn and eSign. And most clinics use these together in combination. eLearn is customizable video-based education for all parts of the fertility patient journey. So we have video content on what to expect before your initial consult, what you need to know about carrier screening, diagnostic testing, IVF, getting through your injections, all the way through to making decisions about discarding specimens after you've completed your journey. And then on the e-sign side of things, this is really that consent part of the informed consent journey. So you can use our e-sign platform to digitize and store all of your patient paperwork, from informed consent documents to new patient forms, finance agreements, all of that. If it's done on paper, we can do it on EngagedMD. And again, the goal is to make things easier. And we've helped many, many clinics, many patients to date. So that's who we are as a company. Vanessa, I'll pass it over to you to give a high-level overview of PatientFi.
Sure. And I know, Steph, I was just thinking about how you have the injections in there. I remember I used to have to Google and find videos online. It's so great that it's all in one place now for people.
Yeah.
So PatientFi, we have been around. We're also a software developer. Probably the reason why the synergy is so great between EngagedMD and PatientFi is we both are software developers. We've been around for almost 8 years now. And we started out in plastic surgery. We moved into the fertility world about 3 years ago. Our goal is to really help your patients turn family ready into financially ready. I'm going to dig more into all about us, about the actual product soon, but we really just want to help make sure your patients start sooner. Our goal is to give them a seamless, excellent experience, just like they would within your clinics. I love this. I just got off a call, and I know some of the people on here were on that call. We do a lot of research. It's really important to us to know a market before we go into it. But gosh, I read this and I think about, right, the number one barrier to conversion is cost. So when we say the word conversion, that also refers back to the number one barrier for people to start their family is cost, right? I mean, Steph, that 91%, right, said cost is the top factor when deciding to move forward with fertility treatment. This next one, 88%, right, of the respondents say they'd be interested in using financing. That's why we say and when I saw that 83% of people talk about it to them, thank you, and thank you for giving them the information, because we really want the patients to know that this is out there, hence the EngagedMD module, which you see, which can help also. And this one really resonates. 92% said they would more likely to choose a fertility clinic that offered financing. That's pretty much everybody. So we're so happy that you're going to get to see this module today and learn more about it.
Yeah, you're so right, Vanessa. It's so overwhelming when you're trying to build a family and you need access to fertility care. And if you can take the finances out of the equation, it makes it so much easier for people. Like, this might be a silly analogy, but when I first got my dog 10 years ago, and I was like, I never want to have to make a decision about his care based on money. So I got pet insurance, right? And I think this is kind of like the same thing. It's just like, how do you take finances out of the equation so that you can do what's right for you without letting that dictate your journey?
I have pet insurance on my 4 dogs too, so I understand, because I never want to have to say I can't afford that. It's like, oh, heart-wrenching, right?
Yeah, so take advantage of this partnership, but also go get pet insurance.
We're teaching everything about insurance and financing today.
No, this is great. So hopefully you have a little bit of familiarity now with EngagedMD and PatientFi. And as I mentioned, we came together to create something really cool and brand new that didn't exist before. So I'll dig into that. We've got our next poll up on the screen here. It's a little bit of a leading question for you, but we're interested in knowing how valuable an education resource about financing would be to your patients if we could take this load off of you, which is what we're trying to do here. So go ahead and drop your thoughts in the poll. And as you do, I'll start to share a little bit of the details here. So we came together, I don't know, maybe a year or so ago now, and said, how could we work together to really change the game on presenting financing as an option to patients? When you're in this position, you're going through your financial counseling appointment, or you're even scheduling your initial consults with a fertility clinic. Oftentimes, the how much is it going to cost question is a big black box, and there's a real lack of clarity there. And we wanted to just take that ambiguity and eliminate it from the equation. So we worked together to build a brand new educational module. It's really short and sweet, 90 seconds long, for patients to learn about financing as an option. Here are the ways to pay for care. Here's what it entails and what it doesn't. After patients watch this short and sweet video module, they're prompted to apply for financing if they want to. So they can make a decision. Is this something I'm interested in exploring? Do I want more information, or is this not for me? And then if they are interested, they can go ahead and get started with an application, instantly be approved for up to $50,000 through PatientFi. It's no obligation, so it's a great way to give patients just an added element of choice and information that can empower their journey without obligating them to move forward in this way.
And I think about, stuff we were talked about this the other day, how, when this gets assigned to patients in different areas, a lot of times, like just having this module there for them to look at their own time, where they're, because they're a little overwhelmed, right? Probably think about your patients when they're leaving. It gives them that opportunity to go in and they can go back in and look at it again, because maybe a day later they want to sit down with their husband and look at it and make a decision. So instead of having to remember everything that they learned there, they have this to turn to when they're at their home and relaxed and ready to think about the process.
Yeah, and our goal is that this takes the burden of having this conversation off of the financial counselors at your clinic, and also helps patients access care that they otherwise might not be able to, which is good for the patients and good for your clinic. So I'm going to show you how this all comes together and what this looks like. Before I do, Brittany, would love if you could share the results of this latest poll. Oh, fantastic. We're a really aligned group here. Most
So
three
nobody said
more
zero
people.
because that would
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah,
sad.
yeah. Seems like the vast majority of people would find something like this really helpful. So that's fantastic. We're glad we're on the right track in building tools that you all find valuable. The clinics who have started taking advantage of this are finding the same. So we've got a dozen or so, maybe more than that, clinics who are live with this offering already, even though it's really brand new. And we've had over 350 patients assigned the PatientFi module just in the last couple of weeks, really. And of those patients, 2/3 who finished that module and then indicated their interest, 2/3 said they were interested in moving forward with applying for financing through PatientFi after watching the module. So really, really fantastic results. And what this tells me is that we're meeting an unmet need and helping provide options and access to patients who might not have had it otherwise. The clinics that we're working with so far also really happy with this. We've got a quote here. This is actually something someone shared on LinkedIn on one of our posts. The practice manager at one of our partner clinics said, "I love my new PatientFi portal and EngagedMD. It's so easy and helpful for our patients." So phenomenal feedback. Vanessa, anything else you want to share here from your clients or patients?
Yes, we get so much feedback via the phone on this. So when we talk to our clinics, and I know Brian's on the call too, he's part of the team at PatientFi. He said they are so happy that they have this option to assign to their patients and let their patients learn more. I think the key is how busy you all are, right? You're so busy. You're trying to do everything. You're trying to get everything done. And then maybe you just forgot to have that financial conversation that way, right? Maybe this happened. But now you know that you have this portal to send over. This is basically what the clinic actually said to me. She was like, I just didn't have a great financial conversation with this person. But then I realized I'm just going to assign them the module and they're going to learn more. She goes, I just ran out of time in my consult with them. So always know that if this happens, you have another place to turn to educate your patient on what can help them on their journey. It's a long-winded answer there, that one.
No, no, it's fantastic though, and I love to show folks what this looks like and how this all comes together. So I'm just gonna switch over my screen here. And we're going to take a look at how patients interact with this content. And it's actually really, really simple on your side, especially if you're already using EngagedMD. This is really, really easy and straightforward. But even if you're not yet, we can get you set up totally for free. And that's like the coolest thing. Vanessa, could you speak a little bit to the free element of
Yeah.
this?
So, I think the whole idea is, right, taking on something new. What is this going to cost? What is it going to look like? That's always everybody's question, right? So this is going to be a free module that you're able to assign to your patient at no cost to your clinics. I personally think it's a game changer because it's not costing you anything to help your patients, right? To help your job, to help your patients move on with their journey. So I think the opportunities are endless with this. And I feel like everybody should really be sending this module out to all their patients. That's kind of how I look at it. If it's free and it can help them, you really should do it. I can't hear you for some reason, Steph.
How about now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I want to walk you through how this process works. When I tried to share my screen here, I want to share audio with you so I can actually show you this module. I'm a little concerned that I got a pop-up that it might not work though. So just test that out with you. Worked well in our testing. Let me test that out with you. Tell me if you're hearing anything here, Vanessa.
Okay,
Financing your fertility care
good.
in partnership.
Fantastic. I love when tech works well for us. All right, so let's take you back to the beginning. So you've got a new patient who you want to share information about financing with at your clinic, and you're going to have access to an EngagedMD portal. You'll be able to enroll this patient and share this PatientFi bundle with them. The first thing that's going to happen for your patient is they're going to receive an email notification, and this is going to be totally white labeled and customized for your clinic. So imagine your clinic logo here, your clinic name in the subject line, and in the sender line where it says sales demo environment. This would be your practice's name. So patients are going to view this communication as though it's coming directly from you. And then they're going to click this Start Now button, and this is going to take them to their patient homepage. And here, this patient has been assigned 2 pieces of content. We bundle it together to make it really easy on the clinic side. They've been assigned a eLearn module, Financing Your Fertility Care with PatientFi, and then a questionnaire where they're able to opt in and make a decision about proceeding and learn more and start their application. So we're going to go ahead and watch this module together. It's only 90 seconds, and luckily it sounds like my audio is coming through well. So I'll hit play here and we'll sync back up after this plays.
In partnership with PatientFi. If treatment expenses are weighing on your mind, you're not alone. Financial concerns are the leading reason fertility patients choose to delay treatment or decide against pursuing it altogether. We're committed to making fertility care more accessible by offering solutions that help our patients navigate and manage the cost of care. For patients looking for an affordable way to pay, we've partnered with PatientFi. PatientFi offers fast, reliable fertility financing options that allow you to get the treatment you need now, but pay in small increments over time. Getting started is easy. Just complete your PatientFi application by answering a few simple questions from any mobile device or computer. It takes less than a minute. Then you'll receive an immediate approval notification for up to $50,000 in fertility funding. PatientFi offers customized monthly payment plan options designed to fit your budget, allowing you to pay one steady amount each month. You'll have access to your funds right away to use for procedures, medications, labs, genetic testing, and other fertility care costs. And you can track and manage every expense with PatientFi's easy-to-use app. To get started with PatientFi, simply complete the application after the video. There's no hard credit check, no extra fees, and no obligation to move forward. Just a friendly way to pay for your fertility care.
I love it. So your patients will watch this video module, and then after that, they're prompted to go back to the homepage here and indicate a decision. So here what you see is patients are asked to learn more about payment plans for fertility treatment. Click here to start an application. It reminds them the same thing the video said, there's no hard credit check, no obligation to move forward. And then it asks them, are you interested in considering financing with PatientFi? They can click yes and select the link above, no, or I'm not sure. And if they select this, then PatientFi will reach out to the patient directly to provide more information. For patients who click yes, they're able to click here, and this is going to open up your clinic's unique application URL so that patients can take those couple easy steps and go ahead and get instant approval. So this is really great. Once a patient submits this on this side, this data is tracked too. So this is just the beginning of the tracking journey. I know PatientFi does an excellent job communicating directly with clinics too about every step of the journey. But this really takes it off your plate. It's super simple for the patient, super simple for your clinics. And I don't think I've said this enough yet, completely free to use. As long as you're a partner of PatientFi, whether you work with EngagedMD or not, this is totally free to use. There's no hidden fees in this, nothing.
I love when we keep saying it's free, free. It is. It's just, again, it's another option for your patients to learn more. And even if they say they want information later on, that's great, right? That's them sitting back and thinking and being like, all right, send me some information. Let me figure out if this is the right step for my journey. So
yeah. We've showed you what we've got to show you on this offering in particular. We're going to talk in a couple minutes about how to get started with this, but knowing that many of you on this call do not work with PatientFi yet, we thought it would be a good use of the next 5 or so minutes to go into a little more depth here about what it means to work with PatientFi and really what sets them apart from other financing partners that you may work with.
love it. Thanks, Steph. As I said before, I would get into this a little more detail, but first we do have a poll. If you would answer that, how important it is that your patients have an option to pursue and easily move forward with financing. So if you get a moment to just answer that, that would be excellent. Appreciate it. So a little bit more about us, friendly for your patients, easy on you. So very similar to the module, our goal is to make this as easy as possible for both the clinic and the patient. So we do approve up to $50,000. Our plan can cover all expenses. This really helps the patient when it comes to the meds, genetic testing. I think about you now, Steph, when it comes to genetic testing. The word geek just popped into my head. I was so curious.
Oh, thanks a lot.
We are the easiest platform to use. Everything is fully digital. The patient can literally do the application within a minute. They apply, they get instantly approved, and you at the clinic can transact that same day. You would be funded then in 24 to 48 hours. And then I'd love to talk about our 5-star Google review. We really truly pride ourselves on this. It's really important to us that your patients have a great experience with PatientFi. We answer our phones in Irvine, California within 26 seconds. We do not outsource our customer service. On the clinic end, you have our little fertility group. There's 3 of us. There's Jennifer, Brian, and myself. No matter what, we are all available to help you. We're there to partner with you and to help you and your patients. We also do custom marketing, different things that we can do to help your clinic kind of get that information out there that we are a partner together. So all of that just comes with just partnering with us. You can go ahead, Steph. Thanks. Now, stress-free for your patients, right? So we want to take the stress away from you, but then we also want to take it away from your patients. Oh, there we go. Some poll results. Sorry about that. How important is it to you that your patients have an option to pursue and easily move forward with financing? I love that 94% of you said that it is really important. So, and it is, right? If you think about it, like I said before, when I did fertility, we had to pretty much empty our bank accounts, go into 401k, do all of that because the options weren't there, right? There might have been financing, but nobody talked about it. It definitely wasn't a module back then. I feel like it was like back in Bedrock, the Flintstones or something, the way I talk about how long ago it was. But it was
Young at heart, Vanessa.
but it was a long time ago. So yeah, it's great that this is here. So love that answer. Appreciate it. I'm going to stress this no hard credit check. So if you think about when your journey starts to try and have a baby, it might be at a point where you're buying a house, right? Or you're buying a car, or you're buying something else, or you just got your credit score where you really want it.
Yep.
So every time you run a hard credit check, it will put a ding per se on your credit score and knock some of those points off. We do not do that from start to finish. So no matter what stage you're in, the application, transaction, anything, we're not running a hard credit check on your patient. So this really resonates with people and really makes them feel more comfortable about applying. That's why we, in the module, you notice we say, no obligation, no hard credit check over and over again, because we want them to know that it's not going to affect their credit score.
Yeah, it really does matter. Like my husband and I were buying a house a year and a half ago now, and even the number of times they had to do a hard credit check during the mortgage approval process then dinged the credit, which is like so ironic, right? But it really
Yep.
makes a difference in what your monthly payments are. And so when you're in this phase of life where oftentimes you are trying to go through fertility treatment, you are trying to do things like buy a house at the same time, it really, really matters. So this is a huge one for me, Vanessa.
It does. It really is. And I mean, we have a clinic who is actually an EngagedMD partner and also uses the module that she had said every time she brings this up as one of her options and she says that a hard credit check, patients automatically go right to that because they understand that they don't want their credit affected.
Yeah.
We have multiple different types of plans for your patients, right? We have a 6-month deferred option that clinics offer. This is a great gateway / bridge, whatever that might be, or they might have insurance and just have a small amount of out-of-pocket expense that they need to finance. So that 6-month deferred really helps patients. It's used about anywhere from 30 to 40% of the time. So it's really become a great product. We are the only patient financing company in the fertility world that has a 6-month deferred option for your patients. We then go from 12 to 84 months in our standard extended term loans. So the patient can pick what payment works for them. I always think about it, it's like we're in the Netflix generation, the Netflix time, everything's a monthly payment. So this gives your patients the opportunity to pick what monthly payment will work for them. And then last but not least, easy funding split settlement. So our product is like a line of credit. So what we do is we approve the patient for as much as we possibly can, and that line of credit will be there for them to utilize throughout their journey. So if it's for IVF, IUI, meds, genetic testing, all of that can transact on its own and we'll roll it into one monthly payment for the patient. That line will also continue to be there if they require a second cycle or they decide mid-cycle that they decide they want to do genetic testing, which they didn't know before. They're always going to have that line there that they can utilize. So it takes away that disjointed just loan product that's out there and gives them a really good option to utilize.
Because it keeps replenishing. Am I understanding that right, Vanessa?
Yep.
Yeah, super cool. Really, really cool.
So everything's easy, right? We call it the 1, 2, 3. Let's get started. The patient's going to apply in seconds and get approved, hopefully within seconds. And they're able to literally get going immediately. So what happens is the patient's going to apply, get approved. You're going to get an email telling you that that patient is ready to go. In 2 clicks, you're going to send them a transaction. They're going to accept it. The minute they accept that, the money is automatically transferred to your bank account. That's literally the process. It is that simple.
I think this is really important because the patient population that we're treating right now, the millennials, I'm a part of it, and we are the instant gratification generation, for better or for worse, but we have technology at our fingertips and we expect to be able to send a portal message and get an immediate response. And I know all of you on here are like, oh my God, portal message is probably the bane of your existence. And don't worry, there's not portal messaging. But the point is for the patient, they can get that instant gratification through this process, which I think really is unique here and meeting the patients where they are.
Yeah, and everything, like I said, is digital. That's another thing, right? The millennial population, they want everything online. They don't want to always have to talk to somebody. They don't want to reach out. And funny step, when you said that, think about my son's generation. Talk about getting things in seconds. He doesn't understand things sometimes. He's like, well, why isn't it here? Like, yeah, it has to get here.
Why isn't it done yesterday? What's the
Right.
mail? Yeah, yeah. No, it's totally true. And our goal and what we've seen in the early results from the clinics who have already started using this is that it really just takes any of this lift off of your team. It handles the conversation for you. It lets patients make a decision, whatever that decision may be. And then if they want to get started, they can all right away without interference, really. So hopefully this is something that you find interesting. If it is, we'll walk you through what the next steps look like. Again, with that reminder that this is all totally free to you to use. So if you are already working with PatientFi, you're going to get an email from us afterwards with a link to sign up. And what we'll do once you fill out that form is we'll schedule a kickoff call with you to activate the module. And what we're going to do in that kickoff call is we're going to talk to you about workflow and come up with a plan for training your team too, if you would like us to do that. I know if you already use EngagedMD, this is probably a no-brainer for you. And you're like, we don't need training because it's so easy to use, and that's an option too. But we really want to align with you and make sure that we set up a workflow that helps you get the most value out of this, whether it's assigning the module before your financial counseling appointments or after, and talking about which patients to send this to. We've got some clinics who are assigning this to all patients because they don't want to make any assumptions or have to do any patient profiling. Even if a patient has insurance, sometimes there are other out-of-pocket costs that they want to offer financing as an option for.
It's such
So
an important thing, Steph. I just have to chime in on that one. It's so important just to let everybody know, because you never know, and people don't always ask those questions, right? They're not comfortable talking about it. So let every patient view it. They're going to make an educated decision on what's best for their budget.
yeah, and if it's not for them, this is 90 seconds and they move on.
It's
Um,
quick.
yeah, yeah. So if you're already working with PatientFi, that'll be the next steps. We'll schedule a super quick kickoff call with you, talk about workflow and set out a rollout plan, and we can get you up and running right away. If you don't work with PatientFi yet, once you fill out this form, we'll connect you with Vanessa or one of her colleagues and have you guys set up a call with PatientFi so that you can get started working together. And then as soon as you do, we'll set up the EngagedMD piece for you as well. All right, Vanessa, any other last thoughts before I wrap and open it up for questions?
I just have to say it again. Reminder, there's no cost, right? It just saw it there, and I'm like, I have to say it again. But yes, we'd be happy to meet with you if you're not already part of PatientFi. We have a small but very mighty team that really wants to help your practice. So feel free to reach out to us.
Love it. Thank you everyone for joining. Vanessa and I are going to stick around for the next 5 to 10 minutes at least. So if you have any questions or if you want to stick around and read others' questions and answers, which I always love to do, feel free to hang on. Otherwise, thanks so much for joining us today, and keep an eye out on your inboxes. We'll send all this information on how to get started.
Awesome. Anybody have any questions? We love answering questions.
All right.
Hi, Mia. So yes, when they're declined, they will be told they're declined, but then they will also receive a letter explaining that in the mail.
Radhika says, I'm new to PatientFi. Who can I reach out to discuss setting it up? So we're going to send you this email. There will be a link in that email just to fill out a short form. And as soon as you fill that out, we're going to connect you with a member of the PatientFi team so that you can get started with them right away. The next step will really just be setting up a call. Vanessa, anything to add on what that looks like?
No, it's real simple, real quick. We'll get that out to you and we'll get in touch with you immediately.
Sadika, I'll take a look at that. Thanks for the note. I'll take a look at that and make sure that we get in touch with you. Maybe there was an issue with email bouncing or something like that. Jennifer says, can a patient's partner apply if the patient is denied?
Yes, yes. Anybody in the family can apply. Anybody can pay for anybody's treatment. So a mom, a dad, an aunt, an uncle, any of that. So yes, anybody can apply on behalf of the patient. And then I see you said another quick question, please. Sure. Any questions? I love questions.
So we're seeing patients who are getting approved for less than what they need. Is that being explained to patients so we know how to assist them?
So if they're getting approved for less than what they need, it's normally just probably a debt to income thing. We don't let them know about that at all because they have been approved. One thing that we do though is we do personally watch, Brian, Jennifer, and myself, we watch all the applications that come in, And if we see if they apply for $20,000 and only get approved for 7, there's not probably much wiggle room there, but we'll try. So no matter what, if it comes in to PatientFi and we see it's not meeting, it's called meeting the sale. That's the term in the finance world. We will put through an underwriting process, a manual underwriting process to see. One thing they can do, so let's say they figure it out and they do use the credit that they've been given. Within a couple of months of them paying their bill, they can reach out to us and see if they could get it extended. Or if we underwrite it and they have proof that their income is higher or something like that. Because remember, we're looking at what the income is too. That's a big factor. So when they apply, they should put all income, whole household. They do not have to be married. It's anybody that lives within the dwelling they're in. That's another thing to tell them. But they can also call us and speak to our team and work with them.
Great detailed answer, Vanessa. We've got another question coming in, a couple more. If both get approved, can they add the approvals together and have one payment? I guess.
No, each approval's on its own. We do bundle the payments for each transaction for them, but they would have 2 separate lines of credit and loans.
Scarlett Stocks asks, does the application ask who the patient is if someone else is applying for them? We're only seeing one name on the approval.
So currently there is certain accounts of ours, if they want that functionality turned on, it'll be turned on. They're not going to put the patient's name, but they're going to say they're applying on behalf of somebody else.
Got it. So then the clinic could see that this is someone applying on behalf of, and so they know that this name might not be in their system in the same.
Yeah, John Smith applied, but he says he's applying on somebody else's behalf. It's so we know John Smith is not a patient.
Okay. Really good questions, folks.
No problem. Anytime, Scarlett.
Seeing lots of thank yous. Vanessa and I'll hang on here for another couple minutes. If you have more questions, throw them in. Looks like we just got one from Rosaline. How long does the approval stay in the system? What if they got approved and they're not sure if they want to use the loan?
So the approval stays active for 120 days, and then all you need to do is refresh that patient and it'll refresh it. Sometimes it'll increase their amount too at that point. And then think about it's not a loan until a transaction's done, right? So it's just approval for a line of credit. Think HELOC when you take a line of credit out on your home, right? So unless you use that HELOC, it just sits there. So that's basically what happens. So it's not a loan until a transaction is done.
Glenda asked, if a patient gets denied, is there anything they can do to try and get an approval?
Yes, they could always call into our customer service department and they can manually underwrite it and look through it. Sometimes there's things that come through that we navigate to, like they might have a lock on their credit. So we'll have, our customer service team call them, but the patient can always reach out to customer service and have a discussion with them to manually underwrite their loan. Their approval, sorry.
Yeah, really, really good rapid fire answering all these questions, Vanessa. You're doing.
I love questions. Stump the Vanessa. We could play Stump the Vanessa.
Yeah, exactly. The next one I know you can answer as well. How does the patient use their line of credit for medications? Would that only be if the patient was paying for medications through their clinic, or do they work with PatientFi directly to get that payment sent to the pharmacy? This is about the split settlement. Is that the right word?
Yeah, splits up. Very good.
I'm learning.
You got this. So the line of credit can be used at any pharmacy. The pharmacy can pull up the patient's account. So that line of credit can be used elsewhere, right? So let's just say, and I don't see any pharmacies on here probably, let's just say MDR, they popped into my head. So let's say whatever clinic you are, now you're using MDR pharmacy, MDR can pull up that patient's account and send the transaction to the patient. The patient in turn then will accept that transaction, will roll it together into one payment for them. But the pharmacies can do everything, trying to think of the right word, separate from the clinic. The clinic doesn't have to be involved. Same thing with genetic testing.
So the clinic doesn't have to worry about it. You guys are handling it directly with the pharmacy.
Correct.
Okay. The pharmacy does have to work with you though, right?
Yeah. MDR does have an account with us, but yeah, most pharmacies do. There's only a few out there that don't personally have an agreement with us, but most of them do. MDR is one of them, by the way.
Is the line of credit fully digital? Do they receive a physical credit card or will it only be available to approve through the app?
So it is a digital line of credit, digital wallet. They do not get a credit card because we're not a credit card. So think about credit cards. They have compounding interest. They're not the best option for patients to utilize in such big, large sums of money, right? This is an actual, once the transaction goes through, it's an actual loan with a monthly payment that will pay it off in the term that they pick. So if they get approved and their interest rate's 10.99%, they pick 24 months, that loan will be paid off in 24 months by the monthly payment that they have. So very different than a credit card. These are great questions. These are really good questions.
Good questions. I'm learning a lot here too. No, this is fantastic.
And then anybody who's already doing business with PatientFi that's on here, because I know there's a bunch. If you need that, just shoot us an email. If you want a list of all the pharmacies and genetic clinics that we deal with, feel free. We're more than happy to share that with you.
Did you
There you
anticipate?
go. Oh my God, did I answer that when the question came in?
Yes, now you're a mind reader, Vanessa. That's incredibly impressive. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, she read your mind. We have another question I want to make sure we didn't miss. Can a patient pay off the loan early without penalty?
Yep, and they will pay all that interest then too if they, yeah, no penalty and less interest to them if they choose to. That's why sometimes people will take a longer term loan, but then they get a promotion, right? Or they have more income. So yes, they can do that. Again, we want to make it as friendly as possible for that patient. Welcome. I still can't believe I read somebody's mind today.
This is impressive. Add it to your resume. Put it on LinkedIn.
Mind reader.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love all these questions.
We see when someone is approved. Is this info also going to our accounting department as they distribute the money?
Yes. So on your account, that your accounting department does get emails about acceptance and transactions. Yes. They also go into the portal and look at everything. So our portals, everybody knows, is something that's used by your accounting team, the back end staff at the clinics. They'll get access to that also, and they're able to pull a bunch of information out of there that supports them on that side.
Got someone said this all sounds amazing. Thank you both. Excited to share with my team and hopefully partner with you soon. Maybe you can do an in-service and get a vacation to Hawaii.
I'm ready.
Say less. Yes.
Let's go. Let's
This is
go.
the kind of feedback we're looking for.
Why does PCRS or ASRM not have it in Hawaii? Like, why?
You know, they did like 10 years ago, and there was actually really terrible weather in Hawaii that time.
What part of Hawaii are you in? I've been to the Big Island. I've been to Kauai.
Listen, I'm not discriminating. Whatever part, I'll be.
No, I'm asking Anissa what part of Hawaii she's in, but I would love to get a vacation to Hawaii. We love Hawaii.
Done. We'll be there.
Yeah.
In Honolulu, Fertility Institute of Hawaii. We love working with you guys.
There you go. Can you send an email to Gary Gustafson at PatientFi? Let him know you need to see.
My boss is Jeff at EngagedMD.com.
Gary at PatientFi.com. We need to see Vanessa and Stephanie. It's very important that we meet with them.
Critical that this is in person.
Oh, that was good.
Well, no one's going to top that offer.
No.
But I can try.
Come on out to Idaho. No, Idaho was actually beautiful. I would go back. I've been there once. I'd go back there again in a second.
I love it.
Any other questions?
Right. I think we've done our best to stump you, Vanessa, but no one has succeeded.
Win. What do I win? A trip to Hawaii.
A trip to Hawaii is what you win. Thanks everyone for joining. For those of you who stuck around to the very end to hear us get silly, we appreciate it too. And we'll see you all from Hawaii next time. Thanks for
Yeah.
joining. Keep an eye out from on your inbox, and there'll be an email shortly for you to sign up and get started. Take care, everyone.
Everyone, thank you.